Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to Alien Protocols. You know, UFO answers only open up more questions. Right now, we're experiencing, we're living through disclosure. I know most people had kind of a gut feeling disclosure would be all at once, and many people believe that it started with the release of those 3 DoD videos, and it is continuing and it's growing, and there's been so much in the news lately, some really neat new footage of the spheres going in and out of the water. Remember, I've been talking about the geometrics for a while. I've also been talking about the circular craft near ground and sea level. In fact, I did that video with the 2 exact different spherical ones captured at 2 different locations. Oftentimes they move at incredibly fast speeds and can even not be seen they move so fast. There's one video and picture I have in a previous video where it literally on the beach flies between 2 people who are like wading in the water waist high, and it just whizzes right between them in like the blink of an eye. And they also are very invisible most of the time. They obviously have some sort of metamaterial, some optical refraction, subtraction, something. And as we've spoken about before with Dr. Simeon Hein, with the fractal UFO theory, talking about as they get closer to the surface, their size reduces, the numbers of them likely increase, and their need for invisibility increases. So if we're having these larger ships up in the sky, we must have a lot more on the ground that we can't see. And it is the case. Even Lieutenant Fravor and Lieutenant Commander Alex Ann Dietrich, who I can now say once again without getting in trouble, have seen the small Tic Tac at the surface of the water. So that's another one of the small craft on the ground. I mean, on the surface area. There's so much to dive into there. But just answering that first question, are there advanced craft and advanced beings and or their representatives visiting us? And the answer to that question is undoubtedly yes. Any rational person who does any basic research into this field must come to the conclusion that we are dealing with a really extraordinary phenomena here. I won't even go into all the top cases, but literally, if you're watching this and you're not sure whether UFOs exist or not, you need to research just a little bit more tenaciously before you make your decision, because there's tons of very high fidelity, high-end, corroborated data and cases. So the next big questions that must be asked after we answer that big first question is, who are they? What are they doing here? Those are the 2 top questions you would ask. Who are they? What are they doing here? Now, for who are they, there's a lot of really fascinating options and possibilities. Of course, we should start with the most basic and the simplest, and the most logical ones. Our solar system has been around for a long time. And undoubtedly, we know that Venus and Mars, millions of years in the past, had conditions conducive for life. Mars had a magnetosphere and oceans. But its magnetosphere wobbled, went haywire, like ours is doing now, and then the magnetic field died. It finally gave off its last kick. And that's because the molten core stopped rotating. You know, all planets are very hot and they slowly cool down. And so it lost its magnetosphere. Once the magnetosphere was gone, the oceans were no longer protected with that shield against the cosmic rays that evaporate the oceans, and did evaporate the oceans on Mars. I am of the belief that the first inklings of life were on Venus. Then panspermia to Mars, where it developed to intelligence. And we're dealing with perhaps some of that today. What do you guys think?